Monday, June 15th. I'm South Ops meteorologist Jonathan O'Brien. Visible satellite this morning shows a fairly shallow but uniform marine layer influence with low clouds covering all of the coastal and some coastal valley areas. We also have a few monsoonal clouds out towards the Colorado River, but there is plenty of sunshine out there as well, and that will be the case for most of the region today. A look at our 24-hour temperature change reveals that most areas are starting out within a couple of degrees of where we were this time yesterday, as a generally persistent weather pattern continues. Looking at the upper air maps for the next several days, we'll see high pressure remain in control of our weather, but it will start to weaken by the middle of this week. That will open the door for a weak Pacific trough to move through the region Friday and Saturday, bringing us a cooling trend to end the week. Here's a look at today's forecast highs. While not exceptionally hot, we do remain about 5 to 10 degrees above average for this time of year, with upper 70s and 80s across the lower mountains, 90s to low 100s in the valleys, and 105 to 115 in the low desert. Tomorrow will be similar to today and likely a degree or two warmer in most spots as high pressure moves a little more directly overhead of us, likely making tomorrow the warmest day of the week in many areas. Minimum humidity will be mainly between 15 and 30% above and inland from the marine layer influence today and really all through this week, with single digits in the deserts and higher readings towards the coastal areas with the marine influence. Winds will be mostly light and terrain-driven this week, generally following typical local patterns. Onshore flow will strengthen a little from Wednesday through the end of the week. Southwest to northwest winds of 15 to 25 miles per hour with gusts to 40 miles per hour will surface across the wind-prone mountain ridges and desert passes from the middle of this week onwards. But broadly speaking, no significant winds are expected this week. We do continue to have a little bit of early season monsoon moisture situated over the region. We've been getting some daily isolated storm activity over the past few days and expect that to continue into the new week. Isolated afternoon showers and thunderstorms will be possible each day over the Sierra through Thursday. Isolated showers and thunderstorms are also possible across the mountains and deserts of Southern California, south and east of Interstate 15 today and Tuesday. These storms should not be too problematic since they will be isolated and slow-moving, but we can't completely rule out the potential for a couple of new lightning fire starts this week. As high pressure weakens and that weak Pacific trough approaches, a cooling trend will begin mainly west of the coastal slopes on Wednesday. Then several degrees of cooling will occur in all areas through the end of this week. Here's a look at the forecast highs by Saturday, with temperatures falling near to below normal across the region. We'll also see a much deeper marine layer late this week, with even potential for some drizzle in the coastal areas and in the foothills, as low clouds likely push all the way back to the lower coastal slopes. So June gloom will be on in full force by the time we get to later this week. Overall, it's a pretty typical late spring to early summer type pattern, with some ups and downs in the weather, but no major excitement or anything vastly different than what we'd expect this time of year. Dead fuel moistures will generally see steady or falling trends through the next few days, then see some increases late this week and over the weekend, which should bring things pretty close to seasonal normal levels. Live fuel moistures continue to see gradual declines across the low to mid elevations, and live fuel moistures do continue to trend below normal in most areas. Live fuel moistures are still above critical levels, but brush fuels are starting to become more flammable, and while they aren't likely to burn aggressively in the absence of critical fire weather, they are becoming capable of supporting fire spread where wind and slope align. So to wrap things up, the warm and dry conditions will bring a daily risk for a new large fire this week where winds and terrain align. Fire potential is near normal for this time of year, with no critical fire weather expected and fire behavior primarily fuel and terrain dependent. While a couple of new lightning fire starts are possible this week, thunderstorms are not expected to be a major concern since they will be isolated and slow-moving. Expect light to moderate initial attack activity across the region through the upcoming weekend, with IA and significant fire potential likely trending downwards later this week as cooler weather develops. That's it for today's webcast. Thanks for joining us. Next one will be on Tuesday, June 16th.